You're watching Cheery TV.
Howdy everybody, and welcome back to Table for One. Today we're here playing Turing Machine, which is a very interesting, honestly very cool game. It's one of the coolest I've seen in a while. How the game works is you and up to 3 other people are assigned with trying to solve a 3-digit combination given the criteria for the clue that you are given. And this is insane. They have only a few cards, only like 96 different cards for that, and like the same punch-out cards for these. But despite that, you can have millions of combinations for this game. Online, there are literally millions. Let's say I wanted to set up that top left one. I would use those numbers with the paper game to find those numbers on these cards, and then I would set them up, and those would be the clues. For this game, what's really easy, I would just type this in. I think I can type it in here, but I can also just type it in here. So let's type it in there. So let's say I want to do number 1 there. So I would go 2, and then 599. I would go 10. I would go 635, and so on, until eventually you have something sort of like this. There are up to 6. Some codes do have 6, but we're only doing a 4 right now. And once you have it, you just hit submit, and it pulls out the cards, and now you are ready to play the game. Basically, every turn you are given a set of things you can do. First thing you can do, you have to do before you do anything else, is you have to make a guess as to what the combination is. So let's close this now. We don't need that anymore. Let's say, and obviously, you want to base it off of the things that are on the board. So, for instance, let's just say 3. So, you go over here, you hit the little 3. I'm going to say 3. I'm going to say 4. And I'm going to say 3. So, 3, 4, 3. This is my options. Now that I've taken those punch cards from there, I now have one open spot. And that open spot, I will now use to test these criteria. So, I would write this down. Now that I have my guess, I can do up to 3 tests of the things on the board. So let's say I want to test A. So what test A will do, it will compare the number that I chose to 3. So if it's equal to 3, then I'm going to see a check mark. If it is greater than or less than 3, I'm going to receive a X, because my triangle number is 3. So let's hit 3. And hey, there's a check mark right there. So that means that my guess was correct for A. So blue is equal to 3. So we know that the first digit is definitely 3. And now we can ask another question. We can see how many 4s are in the code. I have 1 4. Let's check 1 4. So is there 1 4? There is only 1 4. Is it the square though? We don't know. But we can kind of tell, we can get a little bit of a head start on our next guess by seeing if, let's say, C. If the blue is equal to, less than, or greater than. Currently, my yellow is greater than the blue. So we're going to see if that's the case in the actual code. It is not. So that means that the blue is going to be greater than that. The blue is going to be greater than yellow, which means yellow has to be either a 2 or a 1. Green dots to say A was a success, B was a success for this one, but red was a failure for C. That was our first guess. We now go, we get rid of these cards. So bye 3, 4. Okay, I'm just gonna delete them, and then we make another guess. So 3, let's say 1, and then let's say, because there was at least 1 4. Let's do 3 1 4. So we already know that A is correct. Obviously, I would write this down again, but I'm not doing it just for the example. We already know there's at least 1 4. So now we just kind of want to double check C, because we're going to make sure it is less than. It is less than. And then let's see this one. How many evens to odds there are. So now that we know, because we know that this has to be the 4, because the yellow has to be less than 3, which means there is 1 4. This has to be 4. So this will now tell us if there are more even numbers or more odd numbers. And we do that. There are. So there are more even numbers than odd numbers, which means I have already found the code. Because if this was a 2, let's see if it was a 2. If I were to check D, I would have an X there. So that means that this is incorrect because there's now more evens than odds, which is not what I wanted. So the correct answer for this puzzle is going to be 314. And if we go over on to this little thingy here, we look for the number it is. It's A41, AA5. I don't understand why they code it like that, but hey, 314. That is the code. And it also shows you, if you're doing it single player, how many you're supposed to get it in. I guess, like, you're hopefully going to get it in. So we got it in 2, which is exactly how much they expected us to get it in. So good on us. We're pretty fucking cool. So that's the game, but obviously there's a bunch of different ones. This could have been the entire episode. I'm going to do a 6-tier one because I've never actually done a 6-tier one before, so this might take a while, it might not. But those are the general. That's just kind of how you play. It's a quick little introduction. I'm not gonna lie, I did actually already do this one, so I just kind of used it as an explanation. But now we're gonna get into the actual game. Here we go. I hope you enjoy Table for One, Turing Machine. So the base game comes with 20 already like starter ones. We're going to do number 16 because that's one of the two 6-digit ones. And as you can see, it tells you also how difficult it is and how much luck you're going to need. So this one's less difficult than the number 21, but it does require a little bit more luck if you want to get to the answer sooner than other players, which I'm not really trying to do. So again, I'm going to input these numbers, and now that we have the numbers in, we hit the old submit button, and there we go. So this is going to be a very complicated one, and one that I've not actually done before, so it's going to be an interesting start. So we always start the game by discerning what we're going to do. I'm just going to get this kind of preloaded. So I think how we're going to do it, because normally the single player is supposed to like race the robot. I don't care about that. I'm going to see if I can get it in this amount of guesses or less. Because I feel like this is going to be a really complicated one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 turns to figure out this combination. Which it shouldn't take more than like... I actually have no idea. Let me see. It should tell me in the single player section. Oh, I have to go on the website. Yeah, because it would show you that on the web. Okay, well we're not doing that. Screw it. Get out of here. Okay, so yeah, and also the answers are right over there. So if you wanted, you could already know the answer right now. But for those of you who don't want to know, join me and we'll figure this out together. So we have the blue is equal to 3 one again. I always like just starting with something that's like that, just so that way if it is 3. I already have an entire third of the problem down. It's probably not going to be 3 this time, as in like for like the intro one, but I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful. And then for B being even or odd for the circle, this will take away half of the options right off rip. Actually, less than half. If this is correct, I'm more hopeful that it is going to be a 2 or a 4 because then that limits my options down to 2. So I'm going to assume and hope that the circle is an even number. So I'm going to take an even number and hope I get a check mark from number B. And then for, let's just test A, B, and C, and then next turn we'll test B, D, E, and F. So now we have to see, actually no, we can actually figure, oh yeah, we already have 3 and 2. So we're going to see if they are less than. This will actually be helpful because if B is correct and this is wrong, then we know that this is a 4. Assuming that the triangle is 3 as well. There's a lot of assumptions we're making, but we're running with them. Okay, so now we just need something to test the square with. This will verify there's more even or odd numbers. So that's another one from before. We could do that one again. We can totally do that one again. I just need to assume if I want more even or odds. Let's do an even number. Let's do square 4. So we're doing 3, 4, 2, and we're only going to test A, B, and C, but we did play for D as well, which might be a little silly, but honestly it's fine. So let's test A. So A is wrong. Unfortunately, A is wrong. That's a shame, but it's fine. So A for my first guess was wrong, and I should probably write in my guess. Let me write in my guess. So I guessed 3, 4, 2. That is my first guess of the day, and A was incorrect. So I pop that back. Let's do B. Is B even or odd? B is odd. Okay, well that's good to know. Again, we also have this entire pad here to sort of tell us information that we know about these rules and these riddles. So B is wrong, which if I wanted to type this in, I can now say that circle is odd, so because we know that now based off of the criteria that we have. And we also know that for A, I'm just going to write it all down for everyone to know. I'm going to triangle, fuck it. Triangle is not 3. Triangle not 3. That's the only thing we know from that now, which is unfortunate because that's less information we would have gained if I did one of the other ones, but it could have been so juicy if I got that 3, you know? That would have been great. So we know that purple is odd now, and we know that the triangle is not 3, which means if this were to be correct, that means that the triangle would have to be 2 and the circle would have to be 1, right? Is everyone following that? Because if B is odd and somehow this is less than purple, it would have to, or it could be 3 and then triangle could be 4, right? That makes sense? Yeah, so either triangle is 4 and circle is 3. Well, this is all assuming that C is correct. So let's just test C. So C is also wrong. Okay, so that means that the circle is not less than the triangle one there, which is a shame. So we got all of our criteria wrong to start, but that doesn't mean we're wrong, like we had a bad guess, because we now know so much information. We know that circle is greater than, or no, it's not less than triangle. We know that much because we don't know if it's greater than or not. It could be equal. It could still be equal. We don't know. So that was our first guess. Now we can delete our cards and we can start guessing again. So we have a lot of information. Let's try to test the other information now. Or do we want to try to hone in on this? Because if we hone in on this, the square should be pretty easy. So we can see if the sum of the triangle and the square are equal to 6. Which could be pretty helpful because once we know concretely what one of them is, then we can just add it up and get 6 with that. So once we figure out what the triangle is with this information, we can then immediately know what the square is if we figure this out here. So that's pretty helpful. And then we can also find out if the numbers are in ascending or descending order. So what I could do is figure that out. Yeah, let's test a bunch of this stuff out. So let's say, based on this information, because we still want to kind of figure out what the pattern could be. So we know that it is not 3, and we know that the circle is odd, and the circle is not less than. So basically, here, let's see some information, because this is kind of helpful. This is still pretty helpful. We know that the triangle cannot be 3, and given this information, that also means that, I'm just trying to think, does this mean from before, when I said that the triangle could be 2 and this could be 1, that's not correct, but could that still be a universe where that is correct? No. Right? Because the circle is not less than the triangle. And so that means that the circle is not less than the triangle, unless they're both 1, which would be crazy. They could both be 1. They could both be 1. So we're not gonna mark anything else off as wrong. You know, let's actually figure that out. Actually, no, we want to try the ascending order. But no, let's do that one next. Let's do that one later. Let's do 1 for triangle. Let's do 5 for the square because we're going to see if they do add up to 6. And then let's do 1 for the circle. So we're going to see if they are the same number. Because if they're the same number, that makes this so much easier. And if it's not the same number, then we know that the circle is going to be greater than the thing here, right? Wait, hold on. 3 and 2 was an X, which means that purple is not, that means that blue is not greater than purple, right? That's basically what I wrote. I just wrote it in a different direction, which always confuses me. It confused me in math class too, but I'm an idiot. So we're focusing on this little square here. So let's test C. Let's test C. So is it going to be equal? Because we don't need to test this anymore. B is effectively useless now because we know that that the circle is going to be an odd number. So we don't need to test B ever again. There's only 2 options ever. So let's do C. It is incorrect. So it is not only... So now we know for a fact. So I'm actually going to take this and we'll add some more. We know that circle not equal to triangle. I can't type. You guys are going to find that out today. So we know for a fact that circle is less than... No, circle is greater than triangle. There we go. So we know for a fact that circle is circle is greater than the triangle. And I'm so bad at this. We also know that circle is odd. We already wrote that down. Okay, never mind. Okay, we're fine. But I'm going to put it down here. Circle is odd. There we go. That's how you spell shapes. It's so weird. Circle circle not even. There we go. We're just getting all this information figured out. So we know that the circle has to be greater than the triangle. So if the circle has to be greater than the triangle, there's no universe where the circle is equal to 1, because they can't both be 1, which is there. We also know, in theory, that the triangle couldn't be 5, because if the triangle was 5, then the circle could not be greater than it. So the triangle is not 5. So we're already down to 3 options for the triangle. But let's guess some more stuff, because again, that was only one of our potential guesses today. That was only one of our potential guesses this round, and C was still wrong, but that gave us a lot of information. It gave us 2 possibilities that it can no longer be. Now we can do D. We can see if there's more evens than odds. But also, no, we're not going to do D because we have 3 odds. That would be effectively useless. I don't think that would help at all, because we don't have any evens on the board. Yeah, so that just wouldn't be helpful. But I guess if there's more well, it would be. Actually, it would be, right? But then no, because we don't know if there's going to be 3 odds or not. So I don't even want to test D. Yeah, we can test D later, but not right now. We're going to test E. So we're going to see if they equal to 6. They do equal to 6. That's actually huge. That's really good information. Okay, so we know now. I'm going to finally whip out my green marker today, that this was D, right? It was E. Sorry, it was E. So E, I didn't even put my next guess. It is, I put 1, 5, and 1. So we know now that they are equal to 6. It does not mean that this is a 1, this is a 5. It doesn't mean that at all. But let's test one more thing. We're going to get rid of it. We're going to test A again. Because if it is less than 3, then we know it can't be 4, and then we know what the square would have to be. So let's test this. Because if this is wrong, then this means that the triangle is 4, which means that the square is 2, which means that we only need to figure out if the circle... If somehow, in this universe, the triangle is greater than 3, which we're about to find out, that means that this has to be 4, which means that in order to add up to 6, the square has to be 2. And since this triangle is 4 and the circle has to be greater than it, the circle would have to be 5. So if this is correct, if this is incorrect, so I'm hoping for incorrect here, that means we have the entire thing figured out already. Let's go. It's correct. Dang it. Okay, so there's a little bit more to think about. But that's fine. That's good to know. Honestly, I just feel good to be able to do this again. Boink. It's another good thing, and a little Christmas lights going on. It's nice. Okay, so it would have been awesome. It would have been a really cool reveal because I just figured it out in my brain because I'm smart. But we didn't. So, but it's still pretty helpful because we know that this can't be that, which also means that this guy has to add up to 6, so it cannot be 3, 2, or 1, right? Because it's either 5 and 1 or it is 2 and 4. There is no in between. So in theory, we might already have these 2 numbers down, and we just need to figure out the circle again. Which means that the circle would have to be 3 or 5. Because, again, circle is odd, so it cannot be 2 or 4. So we're already down to a very limited pool of options. So how do we figure out what these options are, given the information that we have? That is a great question. We already kind of have the answer to that one. It could be one. Honestly, this can't be the code. This cannot be the code that I already have here, because that's just factually wrong. It's either it could be 153, it could be 155, it could be 155 or 153. It could also, so hold on, let me write down the potential options that I have left. So these are the potential codes that it could be, right? I'm gonna pop them right up there. It could be 153, it could be 155, it could be 243, or it could be 245. There's only 4 options for this code. There's only these options that remain. And given the information that we have, it could be either one of them. So how do we figure that out? So descending order or ascending order is going to probably be something that we figure out here. Because if the answer is 245, that's a great guess to make. We're going to guess 245. So we're going to get rid of these. And we're going to go for 2, 4, and 5. Because if F is correct, and it is in descending order, right? Then we verify whether they're in ascending, descending, or no order. If they're in descending order, then it has to be this one. Because all these other ones are in no order. So it's probably going to be one of these. But if we get it right, then we know that the answer is 2, 4, 5. There's nothing else it could possibly be. So we're going to guess F first. We're going to go for F first. It's wrong. Dang it. Okay. Again, I'm really hopeful. I bank on the immediate solution ones, which is a bit stupid for actually trying to solve it in a bit of a faster way, I guess. But I'm just banking on it being correct all the time, which I never am. So F was wrong there, which means that, what do we know? I guess we should, well, what do we know for the rest of these? We haven't actually done D at all. We actually probably can now, because this would, oh, we so can now. Because, okay, well, hold on, let me write down what we know. E, we already figured out E. E is great. So we know that circle and square are equal to 6. We know that for a fact. We also know that for F, we don't know the answer to F yet, but we know for F, not descending. They have the word written down. I think I spelled it right. And do we have anything? We don't have anything for D yet, but we're about to, because this is another really good one for D. Here, let me go back in here. I'm going to get rid of that as an option. So there's only 3 options for the code now. We are down to 3. And we can once again mark 1 as either the definite answer or it's between the another 2. Oh, oops, I'm still in the chat box. Because, oh shit, I deleted the other one. It's 243, right? It's 243 in there. I'm pretty sure. It's going to be really awkward if that's wrong. Yes, it has to, because I already got this one down. Because if we choose D, and there are more evens than odds, it has to be that one, because there's only evens in this code set. If it's wrong, then it has to be one of these 2. So if this is correct, we have the answer. If it's wrong, there's only down to 2 options. So, even or odd. We're going for D. Let's get rid of F. Put that back. And now D. It's correct. We did it. We figured out the code. We figured it out. There is no other possible solution that there can be because D is correct. And I don't even need my third guess. But, yeah, I don't even need it because that gets rid of, oops, I keep adding text. There we go. Because that gets rid of these 2 options because it has to be more evens than odds. I have confirmed the code. I have officially confirmed the code. It is 2, it is 4, and it is 3. I'm locking it in. Let's put 16. Yeah, look, I'm literally rubbing all over it. 243. We did it. The answer is 243. And we did confirm that. We confirmed it with the book. We confirmed it with our rules first, though. And that was awesome. That was actually really freaking good. We only did that in three guesses. So, see if you can beat me. I don't know if the robot beat me. The robot, I probably tie with the robot. That was fun. This is a fun game. Again, go play Turing Machine if you haven't already. Obviously, it's a board game, so it's like $40. But or you can just get Tabletop Simulator and play it all here. You know. So I mean, I'm not going to. So you shouldn't get the game. I'm probably going to get the game because I've been wanting to get the game for so long, and it's got a lot of really cute, just like how the game like is set up is really nice. Like in person, look at that. It's like a whole little computer system thing. It's got little faces and everything. You have the little punch card holder thingy. That's really cute and I love it. They got the little game master table. It's really fucking cool. So I implore you to go buy the game. But obviously, if you cannot, I still want you to enjoy the game. So get Tabletop Simulator and play it here. Or if your friends are like across the world, this is a way to just play with them, and it's really fucking cool. I'm gonna go play this with my friends if I ever get a chance. I'm gonna do that, so it's pretty cool. So thank you all for tuning in to Table for One. Sorry it's a shorter episode, but honestly it's a pretty straightforward game that's just really easy to just do a bunch of runs with your friends and shit. It's really fun. It's really cool. Go play it, guys. That's all I have to say. I'm glad to be back doing some board game stuff. Yeah, that's really it. Thanks, everyone. You have a great rest of your day. Bye, everybody.